Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. To help keep this podcast free for you, we're partnering with Stoke Seeds. More than just a listing of vegetable and flower seeds, the Stoke Seeds website is a complete resource center with valuable information on seed starting, planting, and harvesting, plus all the garden accessories you need to make your garden the envy of the neighborhood. Now, pre-order your free 2017 gardening guide today from stokeseeds.com, cultivating successful growers for generations. We'll have more to come from Stoke Seeds in the next few weeks. For now, on to today's question. And Joe's on the line with us. Hi, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Joe. How can we help you?
Hey, we've got some potted mums that we have planted in the ground, and we left the foliage on right now. Should I cut the foliage off, that's dying down, and cover it up with a mulch, or should I let it go on its own?
Well, let's go halfers on what you're asking, because in that they are still in leaf, I would let freeze tell you when to cut the tops off. In other words, if they haven't frozen already, you could get, or your plants could get, another week or two of growth. Now, this morning it was on the cool side, etc. Mums are, let's just say, on the cold, hardy side, and therefore I would allow those leaves to stay on, grab as much sun, and therefore make as much food to be stored as is possible. Then I would cut. Well, let's just say there's a mixture of things I've been told. The one I tend to go with, because the company personnel that told me this grow several million mums a year, and they say leave the tops on. The mum stem is or will be, after dying down, it'll be hollow. And if water gets down in this hollow tube, which would be mighty small amounts, but if it gets clear down in there and then freezes and thaws, it can cause some bursting of cell tissue right at the crown, and it can also continue to hold enough water to perhaps aggravate any of a couple of fungal and rotting diseases. So, Joe, what I think I would just let them die down. Then I would put mulch on around the plant. I would not necessarily go clear to the stems in the middle. I'm hoping that in your potted plants you see some little green new shoots starting around the base. If not, no big deal. There is a danger existing, and we all face it. A plant, a potted mum that is planted this late in the year has a bit of a risk factor that's unusual. Now, by that meaning that if you wanted to have mums for color, for sure, every year in a given spot, then I would plant them in the spring, let them grow on in that area, be completely adjusted to that area before Mother Nature hits with winter. In that you don't have that option, and I don't either, I've left only 2 plants to grow on in my back garden, because I want that plant or those plants and that color in those areas somewhat permanently. So they get bigger each year. Those that I've planted in the fall, I put in with the intent that it's let's just say roughly $5 a piece. I'm going to get some spots of color. I'm not going to break the gardening budget. And if they live, they live. If they don't, they don't. Kind of, anyhow, a story that goes back into another avenue. But at the same time, I would not cut them off. I would put mulch down. I would go, if you can still determine, and you know about how wide the root mass was, I'd put that mulch right into the edge, just overlapping the edge of the plotted roots, and then not cover the crown. That seems to be the enemy, and therefore you've done all you can do. Have a nice winter and hope they're with you in the spring.
Sounds great.
Okay. Now, Joe, one other thing about the mum for you and others. If they do live over, and we hope they do, you will get a plant that's probably twice or even 3 times the size in width of crown that you put in this year. That would be good for next year. I would recommend pinching them off every time there's 2 or 3 inches of growth. Pinch the very tip out. Do that until the 4th of July. Keep them short and fat, and then let them go on into flower and so on. The 3rd year, you may find that the center of that crown that you actually bought and it lived over has died. There will be an open center. At that point, it's your clue, either the 3rd or 4th year, to dig that plant, re-prepare the soil, take the best pieces off the edge that are really looking sharp in the spring, sever them from the root mass of the total, put those back in where you want them, and then give all the rest of the cuttings to Aunt Hattie or whomever. That's the way to get the best out of a mum. And you can make your $5 go a long ways if you're lucky.
Hey, thanks again for listening to today's podcast. If you have any questions for Fred, go ahead and email us at fred@planttalkradio.com. And for the best selection of vegetable, flower, and herb seeds available, go to www.stokeseeds.com. Pre-order your free 2017 gardening guide today from stokeseeds.com, cultivating successful growers for generations.